Good evening. I'd like to call the September 9th, 2024 Long Hill Township Board of Education meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting of the Long Hill Township Board of Education was given as required by the Open Public Meeting Act as follows. Notice was sent to the Echo Sentinel and Daily Record on September 18th, 2023. Notices were posted on the bulletin board in the first floor entrance hall of the School District Administration Building, Gillette, New Jersey. Notices were filed with the Township Clerk, and notices were mailed to all persons who have requested individual notice pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Here.
Mrs. Daly?
Here.
Mr. Foster?
Here.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Here.
Dr. Marr?
Here.
Mrs. McLennan?
Here.
Ms. Nyquist?
Here.
Mrs. Case?
Here.
Ms. Rublow?
Hey.
You're here.
What is this?
You're too much. Fantastic.
Why is this? Why is she an apple?
I don't know, but I like it.
There has to be a reason for this.
I think it's for the start of the school year. I could be wrong.
All right, so we will get started. Thank you all for coming. I hope you didn't burn the bottom of your shoes walking across the parking lot. Apologize for that, but we do have business to conduct tonight and some back to school year stuff, so we're excited to be back. I'm going to pass it over to Mr. Alexis.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Case. So we're very pleased to have some of our new staff here. I think we have just about everyone who RSVP'd. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the certified staff. And when I call your name, please come up front, if you don't mind, because we're going to take a picture with the board. And then I'm going to invite Jerry, and you can be in the front, Melissa. And then I'm going to ask Mrs. Colon to introduce our paraprofessionals. So we started off on August 27th. We invited our new staff, and we had a great new staff orientation. It's an impressive group, and we're off to a strong start. So I'm going to just jump right in with the certified staff. And the first person I'd like to call forward is Miranda Dambrot, our district counselor, who will be working with our Gillette and Millington students. Good evening, Miranda. Next is Hannah Scansaroli. She is our new special education preschool teacher, and we're thrilled to have her with us.
Oh, that's nice.
Next is Emily Marino, a leave replacement teacher in the first grade at Gillette School. Welcome. And then we have Regina McKenna Nabielny. She is our grades 6 through 8 STEAM teacher.
Oh.
And Mackenzie Oliver, who is our grades 6 through 8 leave replacement counselor. We also have Mr. Mandersky, who I think most of you know already. Why don't you come up, Mark, too? He is our new facilities manager, and he'll be giving a presentation tonight. And then I'm going to invite Jerry to come forward and introduce the paraprofessionals. And while she's doing that, I just want to say we have so many members of our community who are filling these roles, parents, past parents, not just as paraprofessionals, but also as our lunch school, our new lunch aides. But Jerry, why don't you introduce the paraprofessionals?
Yeah.
Is that on? Hi, everybody. We have Carrie Drennan, who is one of our new paraprofessionals at Gillette, but she's actually not here. Laura Russell is also at Gillette, if she wants to come on up. Vanessa Arroyo is one of our new paraprofessionals who will be at Central Middle School. Jessica Boyle is one of our new paraprofessionals at Millington. And Laura McAvoy, who many of you know, is going to be starting with us on the 23rd of September at Gillette School.
Okay, and the folks that were not able to be here tonight of our certified staff, We have Mackenzie Hickey, the new ELA teacher, grade 6 at Central School. We have Becca Batel, who is the grade 8 ELA leave replacement. She also is the same teacher that filled in the leave replacement in the spring. We have Maggie McGovern, speech leave replacement. Chelsea Marcinick, our social worker leave replacement, who also worked in the district one time before as a leave replacement. And we have Elena Berry, a former parent who is getting back into the profession. She was a teacher years ago and has returned, and we're thrilled to have her as our part-time basic skills leave replacement. And we also have Anita, did you mention Anita Lorero? She's a parent in the district, and she'll be serving as a paraprofessional. We're thrilled to have her, too. And then we have the food service aides, Peggy McKenna, Melissa Patterson, Tracy Wanamaker, and Sarah DeCapua, who are all serving lunch to our students every day. And we're very pleased. They're all members of our community and parents, and it's been terrific. It's been a great start. So, why don't, Jack, can you take a picture? Yeah.
So should
Do
we,
you want to get in the picture?
go. Yeah, we'll go in back.
we'll go in the back.
Right, I'll hide my.
Jack, get way back.
Wait, except Melissa.
Melissa,
She needs to go somewhere in front.
My last few meetings in the front.
Why is she?
Back to school. It's back to school. Because it's zest for life that we don't understand.
Holiday keeps a teacher away.
We're going to miss you.
Excuse me.
Okay. Presentations.
Okay, we have Mr. Mandersky. He's going to do a presentation about the summer construction projects here in the district. And Jack's going to load probably has it loaded already, and he'll just get it started for us.
Well, first off, I'd like to say thank you for being able to present this to you guys. I can't take full credit for this work. A lot of it was started before I got here. Robin, Adele, Frank when he was here, Mark Christina were a big help keeping this all on track to make sure we met timelines for the summer to get everything good for the kids to start the year. So we did a lot of painting on the exterior of Central School. The gym had a lot of pressure washing needs. It was moldy, it was mildewy on the outside. We gave a nice fresh coat of paint to make it look presentable. We did a steam room over at Central. We had new ceilings, power cords added for the kids at their workstations. They painted new flooring, blinds, so 3D printers. It seems to be a nice space for the kids to do a STEAM class. The furniture has not arrived yet. It's coming later this month. So we'll have a nice spread of showing that for the website when it arrives.
But we're currently using the tables and
Yeah.
stools from the
Yeah,
other
we're currently
steam room,
using the
right,
old
from
steam
other
room furniture,
Yep,
correct.
yep. Terrific.
We did kitchen upgrades to meet the National School Lunch Program needs. We had to put in warming boxes and refrigerators, and so a place for the milk cores, sinks for sanitary reasons. Central and Millington were the biggest ones with that, but it's a nice space. We converted 2 storage spaces to accommodate for this. The Millington Library received a renovation. Now it's like it's a full, nice, flexible space for the kids. New bookshelves, new furniture, a nice space that they can really utilize as more than just a standard old-fashioned library. We did a floor replacement at Millington in one of the classrooms. That older tile was popping. It had some hazardous spaces, but new tile was laid down, and it looks fantastic. 2 of the classrooms at Millington, we also had ventilator problems. in the classroom. They were completely dead to my understanding. So we got 2 new units put in. The air conditioning works great. Hopefully the heat works fantastic when the heating season comes, but it should be all great with that. Part of our fire panel replacement with Gillette, at some of the other buildings, we had to do backflow preventer work, which is all tied with our sprinkler systems and all the fire to make sure everything's safe for the building. Gillette received a whole new fire panel upgrade. Now all of our buildings are complete, up to date, modernized, safe, so we shouldn't have any issues with the fire systems anymore. Beat me through that one. And then at Gillette, we also did RTU replacements with the rooftops. I'm not sure who got involved with the project to start, but the direct install, we save a ton of money toward the district doing this replacement. The rooftop units were beyond our life expectancy, and now we should hopefully get a great, nice expectancy out of new units. And then just the files will be a bunch of pictures before and afters, just to.
Oh, wow.
If I might be going too fast, feel free to say something. Yeah, like the whole top stucco area was all repainted. We didn't touch the block.
Looks great.
Mark, what is like the lifespan of that? Like, is it every 3 years, every
The-
2
the
years?
paint?
Like, or like power washing and stuff? Like,
I mean, honestly, it would probably be based upon the prevailing winds, the weather, how much we really get a lot of. But when they treat it with like a mold-resistant, mildew-resistant chemical so that it is more preventative toward it.
Do you know the last time we did it?
No, I don't.
So,
A while ago.
wasn't any time recently. Oh,
Wow.
that's great.
Yeah.
I would like to say
Oh,
it's a
that's
great.
the steam room.
This is the new steam room.
Yes, this is new steam room. And that's our temporary setup with the old steam room,
Yeah.
benches and tables.
Yeah, I want to point out, see the sink in the back corner? And I know it looks like nothing, but it's something. It costs a lot. Got to bring the plumbing in there and putting the sink in.
This is the central kitchen area. It used to be like a storage area for miscellaneous, I'm not sure myself. Now we have the
Nice.
3-bay sink in there with the grease trap, the refrigerators, the warming boxes.
Awesome.
This is Millington kitchen area.
maybe the kids could make magnets for the fridges.
Perfect for the STEAM class.
Yeah, 3D something.
This is some before pictures while they were installing the new library furniture.
Oh, wow. Oh, so cool. And that's all modular furniture that could be removed into different
yeah,
components
with
and stuff,
casters,
yeah.
yep.
It's
Yeah,
fabulous.
but the furniture, the way it's mobile and
Yeah.
movable, so you can do small
Do
groups, you can do a
different
big group and
arrangements.
with different arrangements.
I,
And then
you
some
can't
reading
see the
areas in the
picture,
background.
but the day we went on the tour, they had the little
Lego wall.
seats over there, and then they had the lion right in the middle,
Oh,
or tiger. I guess it's a tiger, not a lion. But
It also has Lego wall in there.
Oh, the Lego wall's in
yeah.
there now?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
that I think, is that the little
It's
green?
just off behind the counter, you
Yeah.
can just catch the corner of it in the little green speck in the middle of the picture on the left.
I'm sure the kids were excited.
And this was the floor, there were some popping tiles on the heater in the window area, and
Looks lovely.
Could you remind us, were those asbestos tiles?
yes,
So that was not an
remediated
easy
properly,
job.
It's like the ground is coming.
This would be
The ventilators.
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 Love it.
With the old backflow preventer with one of the new ones. Here's some of the old fire devices we replaced at Gillette with the old fire panel system.
Did you have to save any of the old fire boxes? For the
We might have a couple
display somewhere?
downstairs.
You can put them in the museum.
I went off, yeah, for sure. No, but for like display in a hallway case at some point.
I think we might have a few. I'd have to look. A lot of the removal was done before I started. So, as just some of the work with the RTU replacement, some the old units being removed with the crane, the new units set on the new turbine.
Excuse me. Essentially, are all the projects completed, or are we still, I know you said furniture, all right, but
Yeah, it's just the STEM room furniture is the last bit we're waiting on.
very nice. Very, very
I think
nice.
stage
Wonderful.
curtains too, right? Stage
yes,
curtains are
and
still
stage curtains,
coming in,
yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's like, no, I meant like big stuff,
Yeah,
you know,
well, that-
construction and all.
Yeah.
Right, very good. Thank
Thank you
you.
very much for your time.
so much.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Communications.
Okay, the board received an email from a parent thanking all of us for the improvements in transportation this year. I replied on behalf of the board. Robin and I also received similar emails and informal in-person feedback on transportation this year, all positive, which has been wonderful, and very different from last September. Robin and the board office staff worked very hard this summer to ensure this smooth transition, and all of that hard work and preparation really paid off.
Okay.
Thank you, madam.
Yeah, I think that's so.
Don't forget Jack. Jack too did a ton.
And Jack.
Thank you, Jack. Okay, board committee and liaison reports. I will start with Karen.
The Ed Services Commission, Morris County Ed Services, had a meeting on August 14th. The two main items that are of importance, I think I had mentioned previously, they are in charge of and administrate a building for their school that is really a state building. And one or two other ESCs have done this, where they purchase the building from the state for the minimal fee of $1. And in order to do that, there's a whole legislative process that had to go through. So consequently, we went through it, or they went through it, and supposedly the approval is sitting on the governor's desk. And the important thing about that is, when it was, when we were operating under the state, very limited in the types of educational services or types of services that could be offered. Now, you know, they could expand those services because there were a lot of empty classrooms in that building. And it also worked out very well that, I'm gonna say maybe now it was 4 years ago, the building was completely renovated. So, you know, it's great money-wise for the commission right now too. Excuse me. And in line with that, we approved a job description for an educational director to be able to look at programs that could be brought in. And it seems that there's they want to look into a closer working relationship with Rockaway Township, because they're up there and they've already made inquiries about how to utilize, you know, some of their space or rooms. So that was good. There'll be another meeting this Wednesday, which I'll attend. It's virtual. So, governance. We met on August 13th. And did you guys get your survey? Okay. Okay, so I guess it all goes in and Jack will give us responses. Okay, great. We'll look at it at the next governance meeting on the 17th. I think I read to you the committee goals before. Implement a plan to provide governance and committees a cooperative operating structure, review and refine governance committee responsibilities, and support the strategic planning and QSEC processes. Now, with respect to strategic planning, we're aiming at the first quarter of '25. It would be good to get it done in the first quarter for a couple of reasons, not the least of which is Charlene is retiring. And we don't know, she doesn't know yet, but she encourages us to do it as early in the year as we can. So it'd be good to have her because of her experience with us versus having to go through this with, you know, a new person. And also in line with that, we're utilizing their service to assist us in the strategic planning, like planning the strategic planning process and being there as we, you know, execute it. And so you'll see a resolution to approve $4,500 for that. Excuse me. at that particular meeting, we were going to talk about the list of responsibilities that's on the website, all the committee's responsibilities, and go through those and review it, but we didn't, so we'll do that at the next meeting, like I said, which is September 17th. And Charlene will be attending that meeting with us. So, and that's it. And you're going to love this one. Finance report is going to be given by an apple this year, this time. So,
Okie dokie. Any questions for Karen?
What kind of apple was that? Is it a delicious? Of course she's delicious.
Aw.
Okay, let's go then to Danielle.
Yes, so we had a community relations meeting on August 27th. It was myself, Mr. Alexis, Kim Case, Tom Groskopf, Justin Foster, and we spoke about some pre-K things that are going on, any updates with the state. I know the district was looking at possibly doing a preschool webinar coming up before the new year. We also spoke about any more ideas, kind of planning ahead for the Sterling Street Fair. We spoke about the new lunch program and transportation. This was all before the start of the new year. We also went ahead and agreed on our goals. I do have to still send out the minutes, so you'll see that when it comes out. And our next meeting, I believe, is going to be October 9th, and I think it's at 4 or 5 p.m. because we did change the time. I think it's 4
It's
p.m.
October 9th, it's 4 p.m.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Danielle? No? Okay, Krista?
Nothing to report this month.
Okie dokie. Anne?
So the Student Achievement and Curriculum Committee met on September 3rd. Myself, Kim Case, Katie McLennan, Crystal Marr, Dr. Jones, and Mr. Alexis were present. So we did approve our goals for the committee, which are 1, to monitor academic performance, related data, and communication, including efforts to deepen student understanding through inquiry-based strategies, personalized learning, and critical and creative problem solving, as well as efforts to improve student attendance. And 2, to prepare for and participate in a successful QSAC process and strategic planning process as appropriate to the committee's work. In our discussions under academic performance and that goal, we had an update of the PD sessions at the Welcome Back to the School for when our teachers were in the first 2 days prior to the students' arrival. We had an update on the iReady training that our administrative team went through with representatives from iReady that was then turnkeyed in the teachers to their iReady professional development. We had an update on the summer curriculum writing, which we will also discuss again at our next meeting in October. Actually, I think we moved it to the
I think it's October 1st.
Okay, October 1st. I was going to say the last day of September. Yeah, so October 1st. And the curriculum is being transitioned from a program that was called Rubicon Atlas to Google Drive with the idea that it's more accessible and also more cost-effective for us in storing the curriculum documents. We are hoping to get some feedback from the teachers about their curriculum writing process over the summer at the next meeting. In discussions of student attendance and improving student attendance, we just had an update on the plans for the attendance campaign, some discussion of statistics that support the importance of attendance and being in school, and really the outreach from the administrative team and our staff to the community and the families to emphasize and really educate that it's important to be here. And there's a various approach that I'm sure we'll be updating further, talking about routines at bedtime and in the morning to help facilitate kids to come to school, tips for communicating with your students, and your family, your kids when they come home about school and the learning in school, so that the family and the parents and adults at home are becoming more involved in those conversations with the students, and so that there's a focus on building that important relationship of kids feeling seen, heard, and appreciated in their school. We're talking about raising family engagement. So we had, the district administrative team had 2 parent information sessions. So there was the one that was on transportation and lunches, and there were over 70 participants in that. And there was another session on study support and preparing students and helping the students with the school year. I think we had about 15 participants in that one. And both were virtual and are posted on the district website if people would like to look at them and get that information. There were 2 kindergarten orientation sessions for new students, as well as a Millington open house for new students. We talked about the launch of the new website, which went smoothly and has more accessible user features. And we're talking about unified communication from the schools, so that when there's communication going home from the different principals, there's going to be some streamlining there, just to make sure that the communication format is consistent throughout those years. It looks like there's going to be some use of Google Classroom in grades 3 through 8, and then there's going to be a different approach in grades K through 2. I think that's pretty good. The CUSAC process, the administrative team had met with the county office, and there will be training sessions in each domain that are in September and October for CUSAC. And the lunch service, we had an update on that, and it went very well on day 1. There was a thought that there may be some minor adjustments here and there, but overall, an excellent rollout on day 1. Our upcoming meeting, October 1st.
Any questions?
The Watchung Hills Regional High School Regionalization Feasibility Committee, if I got the full title of that correctly, will be meeting with the sending districts on September 30th. So I'll have an update for that for you at the next meeting.
I encourage you to read, what Ann said, read the notes, because they're so good, the minutes from the meeting, and it's really like a map towards what we're focusing on for this year. So everybody will have good information along the way. Okay, Tom.
Thank you. Meeting minutes from the Technology Committee read as follows. There was a new website launch. The tech team recently unveiled a new website, our new website. There may be a few unintended glitches, but for the most part, comments have been enthusiastic. There have been questions. Where there have been questions, they have been quickly resolved. District staff will be trained by the website maintenance vendor Final Site this month. New computers were installed in Gillette and Central Middle School. 60 new computers were installed over the summer. There are no more old computers being defined as 5 years or older remaining in the district. The tech team managed what was projected to be a 3-year effort down to 1. With this push by Jack and the tech team. All of the district's computers are now Windows 11 ready, well ahead of the 2025 deadline put in place by Microsoft. This commendable effort does not create any worries in the district that one day there will be a glut of computers coming to the end of their life and then have to be all replaced at the same time. The wave will continue and they'll flow in and out. Gillette School iPads. 100 new iPads have been deployed. There are 5 carts with 20 iPads each, ready to be rolled into action as needed. The goal of 1-to-1 in Gillette School will be close to being met in 2025, with actual goal attainment expected in 26. In addition to the Gillette rollout, 15 new iPads have been put in service in the Central Middle School STEAM Lab. That's a good thing. Instagram. Due to changes during the Twitter X acquisition, the tech team has determined that X Twitter is no longer a suitable media platform for our district. Instagram is going to be the primary social media platform used by Long Hill Township School District moving forward. Information regarding each school's Instagram account will be communicated out by building administration when ready. Online payments, PaySchools. PaySchools is current platform here in the school district. There are plans to accept electronic payments via credit cards or ACH in the future. Additional information will also be provided by the business office when we are closer to that eventuality. Chromebooks update. With the implementation of the Chromebook student usage agreement, the tech department has seen a large drop-off in device damage. As per the agreement, students are only charged for damages deemed above normal wear and tear. This summer, a new Chromebook vendor was selected, Vivacity Tech. The district acquired 170 Chromebooks from Vivacity, as well as new screen protectors and cases for all of our one-to-one take-home students, grades 5 through 8, which were ready to go on day 1. Thank you, Daniel. Dan, sorry. Did I call you Daniel? My apologies. Ready to go on day 1. The tech department has received very positive feedback on both the cases and the screen protectors from staff. Let me take this a little bit further. Jack and his cohorts took old machines, put the cases and the screen protectors on it, jumped up and down on them, threw them down the stairs, threw them at the walls. Did you ever fix that wall? But very little to almost no damage. These new Chromebooks also boost 8 gigabytes of RAM, which will greatly increase the performance of each device when compared to existing devices. I'd like to take a minute out that's not in the meeting minutes, just to say that yeoman's work was done by Jack and his staff over the summer. You didn't even give us a clue it was coming, but you got it all done. Good work. Thank you. And that's all I have to report. Our next meeting is December 5th.
Okay. Any questions for Tom?
When you say Jack's staff, you mean there's only one other person, right?
But you did have two interns
It's a
over the
great
summer,
two-man
no?
team, I gotta tell you,
Yeah,
it's a
two
great
interns.
two-man team. Oh, I'm sorry, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's me and Andrew, and then we have 2 summer interns.
All right.
Nice. Good work. Okay. Justin?
Nothing to report.
Oh, actually, I just wanted to slightly make a correction. Pay Schools is in use currently. I believe it's for the tuition, but it is coming for other things.
Yes, that's
I
what I
thought
said.
you said you
Well, I
said it
think-
wasn't.
It's being
Isn't Pay
expanded.
Schools open for sports too?
Yes,
Yeah, so it's not just tuition.
but it is also used for preschool tuition.
Yeah, okay, all right, well, it's on the website, right? The
It's on the
information,
Mhm.
okay. All right, Melissa? Oh,
I am the
is that
Long
what you
Hill-
would like to be
I am
called?
the Long Hill Apple, and the reason I'm the Long Hill Apple is because I'm not running for re-election, so I'm going to do what I want to do for the next few meetings. And today it was dressing up as an apple to honor the students and teachers and all the staff. George has begged me to give this to him after today. I am absolutely going to bequeath it to you, in addition to the headband, which I expect you to wear.
The great thing about being superintendent is that I can delegate that to someone else.
The CSA is designee.
Correct.
So yeah, I'm gonna do this report my way as well. Yeah.
Okay.
So, the committee goals, this is Finance Committee. We approved the following goals, which were included in our agenda, which will be included in our agendas going forward. And that's to explore additional revenue sources, including potential grants, shared service opportunities that align with our operations, the successful implementation of the food lunch program, and to assess that going forward, to define and support the committee's role in CUSAC, and we're not including it, but it's implied throughout all the goals is to get rich. So, as far as personnel is concerned for the National School Lunch Program, we've hired 4 of the 5. Interviews are ongoing for the 5th. We will know soon who will win the coveted spot. So all food personnel, as well as school administrators and office staff, receive the necessary training. I hear it was quite the rager. 30% of the student population enrolled in the lunch program in the first week of school. As of September 3rd, we have 51 volunteers who are assisting with the program. The hired personnel are working directly with the volunteers. And fun fact, soggy nuggets are the result of condensation in packaging. And what can be done about this? Probably nothing, but we're going to try. And, well, I know Robin's gonna try, she's not letting that go. So, but the food's been excellent, everyone's been very happy with it. Obviously, you have the picky students, it's like any typical household. We did have an emergency. 2 children wanted to eat their corn with forks. And fortunately, Robin and her team found forks, and they ate their corn, because we will give anything to a child to eat their vegetables. So certification and inspections, we anticipate receiving all the necessary certifications and passing the inspections, because we're awesome. Free and reduced lunch students. We have 79 free and reduced lunch students. This is 9.2% of the student population. Now, a lot of you may remember that, what was the percentage?
Yeah, we're now,
Five?
as of today, we're at 90.
Okay.
So
Well,
we are,
that's a
yeah,
big
we are at
difference.
10%.
Oh, aren't you lucky?
Yep.
So this is why that's so significant. Because when we hit 10%, we have to offer a breakfast program. So within a year of reaching that percentage, and Robin is probably gonna go missing as a result of that. So, but amazing rollout. Have fun next year.
Yeah.
So all students are now allowed to purchase an additional slice of pizza on pizza days and additional chicken nuggets, but at a cost. So, and that cost for this additional food is even for the free and reduced lunch students. An extra slice of pizza is $2.60. 4 extra nuggets is $3. 5 extra nuggets is not an option. Don't be greedy. School lunch prices, the higher the price, the larger the meal. So for elementary school, we're at $4.75. For central middle school is at $5. And for an adult portion is $5.50. And Robin is keeping a very close eye on the portion sizes. She was a little bit upset at our meeting because she really feels like the lo mein portions didn't increase with the price level, but she's keeping a close eye even though it was delicious.
Can I say
And-
one thing?
course.
Okay, so I checked that out, and what they told me is that they are giving the larger portion to the smaller kids, so they don't have to do it. So everybody's getting the larger portions, which is why we are not seeing a difference between the sizes.
Well,
Is that a one-size-fits-all lo mein
Yeah,
option?
I
Okay.
think that is, yeah.
just as we expected, Robin has the
So,
lowdown
yeah.
on the lo mein. So there was an online forum with the community held on August 27th. It addressed food service and transportation. It was very well attended. 88 people participated. They were really nice and asked great questions. There were 77 views after it was published online, and we anticipate an Emmy nomination for the production. As far as transportation is concerned, thanks to the very hard work of our BA's office, administration, and the threat of the fire of 1,000 suns burning upon our bus company, transportation has thus far been very smooth. Buses are clean and air conditioning. The drivers are all experienced this year. The parents, for the most part, are pleased. We do have some parents that are not very pleased with the bus stop locations, but due to budget constraints, we cannot hire personal limo drivers to go door to door. So Robin is doing her best to respond to many, many, many inquiries about the bus stop locations.
Mm-hmm.
To that end, we have looked at all the stops. I don't know who the guy, I was starting to zone out at this part of the meeting, to be totally honest. There was a guy named Frank Romano. He may or may not be some type of expert in bus routing.
Morris
He
County,
was.
Morris County Ed
Yeah.
Services, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And he lives
came
here
in
in
and he
town.
And he lives here in town.
Right.
Hi, Frank. Thank you for helping.
Mhm.
And he suggested some minor changes, but he said we're really doing the best we can do. So all we can do is pray at this point. We budgeted about $55,000 for subscription busing revenue. At this point, we anticipate receiving about $62,000. Understand that each bus route costs about $50,000 to do, at least. Our buses are just about at full capacity. We aren't savages, we can't put kids on floors, so we are very, very sorry for those who would really like subscription busing, but there just isn't a lot of room with the buses at full capacity right now. So, milling and paving schedule. So whose bright idea was it to schedule paving during the first week of school? It was not ours. In fact, we did not know until the Friday before school started, but fortunately, Robin's sweet talking resulted in a truce. They will allow the buses through, but no one else shall pass. So as far as Hudson Way, we have 6 science tuition students. In exchange, we have 17 little geniuses in our district who are interested in taking Mandarin classes.
And that's central school only, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wellness program. A survey went out to all district employees to see if they would be interested in participating in a wellness program. Most seemed to like the idea. We all agree that we must keep our teachers healthy and vigilant to avoid a hostile takeover from the preschoolers. Our audit is completed. Auditors were in the office for about 3 days last week. They had a lot of questions and they were quite pleasant as auditors can be. We looked at the QSAC requirements too. We don't have any concerns because we're awesome. Direct install agreements. There is a direct install that I think this is what the Buildings and Ground Committee really needs to look at. With utility companies, that can result in a huge savings if we lay out the costs from our capital reserves. This is what essentially happens, so try to follow me. The utility companies pay for a large part of the type of repair that we would need. We pay for the remainder, but we can do it monthly, interest-free from our capital reserves. So this would result in energy cost savings. All of the roofing, cooling, heating systems would be tied together. We would stop throwing good money at bad to address the inevitable and ongoing repairs we've been dealing with. And according to Robin, every district would envy us as if they already don't. So get on this Buildings and Grounds Committee. We are putting out the RFP for the BCBA services, Treasury and Board Secretary report. Now, you might notice in this week's report, this is not Ocean's 11. Do not freak out. You're going to see about $1 million missing, but it's not really missing from capital reserves. We had to move it from capital reserves to Fund 30 to show that we had the money available for our ROD grant. So it will eventually be replenished with excess fund balance and reimbursements that we will eventually get from the ROD grant. We disposed a lot of science textbooks. They were gross. We also disposed of other miscellaneous, obsolete, damaged, disgusting items that had no resale value. We are, on the agenda today, we're approving a residency investigator. So Inspector Gadget will earn about $50 an hour if we ever need an investigation. We have a joint transportation agreement with Somerset Hills. I zoned out for this part. Robin will throw you all in. Vendors and purchases. You kind of dealt with this, Tom, so I'm not going to deal with it. It's just that we went over the $44,000. Not that we went over budget, but we're just required to, the board is required to approve when we go over $44,000 for any particular vendor. That was for the iPads and the sinks and everything for the lunch program. Let Robin know if you would like to attend the Morris County SBA meeting. This is for the board on Wednesday, October 2nd at Quantick Township High School. Our administration and Robin would like an entourage and felt guilty. She said she would go. I resisted. Strategic plan 3D model contract. I don't know. I think I was trying to find more paper for this part, so Robin will fill you in. Ann and I reviewed all the bills, which were, of course, in pristine shape as always. Our only concern was that George was asking for a reimbursement for a trip to the Coliseum in Las Vegas to see a Weekend with Adele performance where he was apparently rolling in the deep and setting fire to the rain. So our next finance committee meeting is on October 2nd, 2024. It's BYOB Lou Alfie. I kid. We're not drinking at these
It was
meetings.
quite a trip.
I will say that this is actually what she said is tamer than what she has written. So, nice to have some
Well,
restraint.
if it was Marta, she would throw me out already. But Kim, thank you for entertaining me.
Yes. I'm just wondering if you should submit that to the Echoes so they can know what not to do.
There was no concert.
Oh my goodness.
We used to have a spoof paper at college. I don't know if you guys did. Every year they did it on April Fools, and like there'd be these crazy. So that's what it really reminded me of. Are there any questions for Melissa? I think okay. All right, Katie. Thank you.
So, I'm going to.
Policy. I'm so sorry. Policy. We got some, to the committee, we got some policies tonight. Push that to the October meeting. We're ahead of the game anyway, so we will just go over our, the ones that we were supposed to go over last month. That's why you don't see a lot of policies on the agenda, but we're in really good shape. I'm in the process of drafting a policy manual for the next policy committee, so we can keep going on the good work that we're all doing. Meeting's tomorrow.
There she is. Okay. Any questions on that? Okay, good. I'm sorry. Thank you, Katie.
I'm not as exciting as Melissa, because I am. I will start with a reduced buildings and grounds review, because Mark did a great job in going over most of the stuff we discussed, but I will reassure you that the pay in advance direct incentive program is on our radar and is in the process of being handled. So yes, we are definitely looking into that. So we had a meeting, the Buildings and Ground Committee meeting was on August 27th. It was at Millington. Myself, Mr. Alexis, Kim Case, Karen Nyquist, Tom Grosskopf, Robin Bomer, Adele Valentine, and Mark Mandersky attended. We welcomed Mark to the team. He is also known as Mark 2.0, new Mark, Mark the sequel, Mark Return of the Mark, and we're just really glad that he came to join us, and he is a great addition to the district. And as I said, he went over most of the things that we're going to, and the one thing that we are very excited is Adele gave us a update on the sale of the dump truck, and it went quite well. I'm surprised it wasn't in your report, and we sold it for $16,000.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a very surprising amount. And we are very excited because we will put that to good use. Actually, Robin will put that to good use, and she can tell you more about that. Our next meeting is September 24th. I don't have a time, but I think it's 2 p.m., and that will be via Google Meet. The Long Hill Education Foundation, our next meeting is September 26th at 8 p.m. via Google Meet. Force registration is currently ongoing until midnight on the 19th. Currently, we have 10 classes at Gillette. There's actually 9, and we're adding a 10th because we did not have a physical education course available. And Carolyn, our administrator, found a tumbling class that will be added as one of the options. So that's really exciting. So there'll be 10 classes at Gillette, 18 at Millington. We currently have 4 at Central, plus the Central and robotics team has their first meeting tomorrow at Central. It's for 4th through 8th graders. It's at 6 p.m. in Central at room 7. So there's a lot of after-school activities available for all of our students. It starts in pre-K 4 just because it's a very long day for those 3-year-olds. So our vendors all prefer that they're at least 4 years old to start. And then, so that is that. And we also have a tentative date of October 26th for the family movie night. It'll be at Central. The movie will be to be determined. And also, we have a October 1st deadline for our first round of grant. And we're hopefully going to get some grant opportunities for our schools. And then also October 1st is the deadline for our sponsorships. We're having really generous businesses and parents donating to sponsor our programs. And also we also have our gala on November 1st at the
Embassy Suites.
Thank you. Embassy Suites in Berkeley Heights. It's a beautiful venue. It's in this glass room, and it's absolutely beautiful. And it is a masquerade gala, and there'll be a tricky tray and live music, and we really hope people will come. And that is everything, and thank you.
Okay. Any questions for Katie? No? Alrighty, so we're going to move to superintendent's report.
Okay, most of my topics were covered, but let me just start by thanking the entire staff for an absolutely great opening last week. Their commitment to our kids, our students, was on full display last week as they embraced the kids with warmth and excitement. On September 3rd, the week before, we welcomed back our staff on August 28th and had 2 days of meaningful professional learning and collaboration. As mentioned, we also had our first 2 parent information sessions, and they are on the website, and the website looks absolutely great. And Jack and Andrew did an outstanding job with that, and they continue to update it with based on feedback. And Robin is right. Jack did a ton of work this summer on the bus routes, and I do want to recognize him for that. And Natalia has been, hard at work, making sure everything is working every day, fielding inquiries, getting back to families right away, and just making it go very smoothly. We have more parent information sessions on the way. They were very successful, the first two, and we're excited about that. Let's see. I'll let Robin address the lunch program, but she's adopted a new title also, and that's Taster-in-Chief, because not only is she supervising the whole program and laid the foundation for it, she's now about as vigilant as you can be in making sure it's a quality experience for everyone. And we're pleased to support the With Grace initiative again this year. You'll see the resolution approving a collection drive at the end of the agenda. And one Millington-specific announcement. Last year, we had such a successful spring with Bugsy, Mr. Simo's seeing eye puppy in training, that he's returning this year, and he'll be joined by Mr. Nestler's puppy, Peter. So we'll have two puppies in training from the Seeing Eye this year at Millington. Last, I want to thank the police department for all their support as we begin a new school year. They were so helpful with busing and especially with the interruptions in the routes, and always there to support us. And I'll end with a thank you to the PTO for the faculty breakfast at each school on Friday. It was such a nice way to end a great first week of school. And that's it for me.
Great. Any questions for Mr. Alexis? No? Okay. Business Administrator's report.
Okay, so I'm just going to update you a little bit more on transportation. It's been going very well, knock on wood. Lots of work. Again, I know we mentioned Jack, but Jack did a great job routing people. Natalia's been absolutely wonderful answering emails, questions. Please remind everybody, if anybody has any concerns, I do have a Google form up on the website under transportation where we are logging in concerns. I'm using that as the main place to look for it. It's hard when you get a lot of things through email, so that gives me a good thing. That way I can track what my response is. It's only going to be up another week. We told the bus company that we're trying not to change the routes. The next bunch of changes, and there's not going to be a lot of changes, will be for Monday, and hopefully after that the routes are pretty set. The routes are very full, especially Gillette and Millington. The middle school, not as much. Gillette and Millington have about 48, 49 children on the bus. So we are getting to a point on some of the routes that if you request subscription busing, or if you're free and reduced requesting busing, we're not even going to look at. We can't entertain it, because should a new family move in where they are further than 2 miles, we have to have the seats, right? I can't take somebody off a bus to do it. So those routes are, as I said, particularly full. The routes in general are less than last year in time. Lots of children on corners, so parents are being asked to, yes, if you have a kindergartner, I know the bus goes by your house. You still have to walk your child to the corner because the bus goes by a lot of houses. We can't stop at every house. So there's just that little bit of understanding. In general, the community has been wonderful. We've gotten some really nice responses, and I'm so happy to say that it's not last year. So that's a really good thing. For the food service, our food service aides are fabulous. They have really taken the program under their wing. We did about 1,000 meals on the last 4 days, 250 meals a day. I will remind everybody, we've only had the program for 4 days, okay? I am personally eating every single one of those meals. I have tasted everything.
And weighing the lo mein.
I have tasted, yes, I had the lo mein actually was delicious. We think, some people were saying the top was crunchy. We think we had our ovens on maybe a little too hot and some things got, but in general, it was very good. The chicken was good in it, the broccoli was good. Some of the things parents are saying are a little soggy. I did meet with Jim from Mister's today, along with Mark, along with Dom in my office. And we sat down and talked about what people are telling us through email. So one of the things that we're going to look to do for October, we can't change the menu for September, but for October, we're going to try to do, like broccoli, it was delicious because it's steamed. What they're having trouble with is when you put it in a leftover dish, it gets a little bit steamy. So we're going to change some of the things. We're going to make it things that are very good steamed, right? Not so much. They're also going to order new tops that vent to let some of this steam out. So that we're going to get sporks for the kids. These food aides thought of that idea. He said, not a problem, we'll get that. So know that it is a work in progress, that it's going to get better and better as time goes on. And it's been 4 days, so please just give me a chance to try everything and alter it, So, but it in general, we have 90 children. When I see they are getting fresh apples, they got fresh oranges today, they promised me bananas, they got great broccoli, they got great carrots, they got good corn. You know, we're feeding 90 children. So the fact that we're doing that, like I said, and the program's going to get better and better as we discover what works for Long Hill. It's just a little bit of a work in progress, and I'll just keep tasting.
Some of those issues, though, wouldn't they have been worked out with Warren? I mean, like, they had to go through the same thing.
Yeah, he's saying, you know, they're not complaining about some of those things, you know? I have to say, the chicken nuggets, yeah, they're solid, but I've got to be honest, it's like when you microwave a chicken, they were tasty, they were not grizzly at all, they were real chicken. You know, so
Well,
if
they're
you-
not fried, right? Like
Yeah.
the kids were getting, so I could see why there's a big difference.
Yeah, well, think about when you make lunch at home, right? You make the lunch at home and you put it in the kids' thermos. Well, when they get to school, it's not
Yeah.
the way you got it out of the oven,
Yeah.
you know, and that's what's happening. So we just have to figure out what our kids like and go toward that. You know, so like I said, 4 days, so we're going on it. It's going to be good.
I think you guys are doing great. Okay, Melissa.
Being on the finance committee and when this came up, I cannot believe how quickly
I know.
you moved and what this project really took from the BA's office on top of everything else they were doing. This was I think people need to appreciate, this was a monstrosity of an undertaking. Like, it was huge. And the reality is, and I hate to make, but this is only the beginning of the school year. There's a lot of parents who are waiting it out to see how it is, and then you'll get even more students. So the parent volunteers, the work that you and your office has done, phenomenal. It's shocking how much the
Thank-
BA's office has done.
Thank you so much. I so
especially.
appreciate
thank
that.
you for all
I
of
also
your
want
work.
to talk about our community for a second. That when we put our word out that we were looking for food service aides, okay? And I was really concerned, right, as a lot of people were, that we wouldn't get people. We got 68 responses. I then asked for resumes and letters of interest, and I got 28 of those. So that was fabulous. When I asked for volunteers, we have 51 responses of people saying, now, they're not saying they're doing it every day, but some, you know, yeah, I can do it once a month. I can do it on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'd like to do Gillette. But 51 responses. I mean, that means our community is involved. I mean, guys, it takes a village, and we're showing
Yeah.
we've got a community here. Really, really nice. So I thank everybody. Really nice to be supported.
I just want to piggyback on what Melissa brought up. Not only the fiscal stuff about the equipment and dealing with the vendor, she had to go through training. And the one who's considered the director has to go through training, and I think you had to go through training.
Yeah, we sent Mark down to
Yeah.
Bordentown
Yeah, Mark
for
is
8
down.
hours.
There's behind, you know, this is like government required. There's a lot of other stuff behind it.
There's also new training of the business office staff, because now we have to, right now that everybody's
Yes.
ordered, now we have to figure out how to do the reimbursements and get the right reports to do the reimbursements in the right amount of time. That's the next step.
And I think what I'd like to say is, first of all, thank you for the undertaking and thank you to our community. But I think as it has seen, given time and the ability to work with other people, you know, we solved the issue of the busing, and for the most part, and that was a rough transition last year. It was a very, very tough year for transportation, and now we started this year, and it was pretty seamless, knock on wood. So I think, you know, I really, you know, I understand everyone's concerns and everyone's frustrations with the beginning of the year, but as you said, it's 4 days, and, you know, I think we can say that Robin really cares, and she's going to get to the bottom of this and make it as good as possible. And at the same time, we also have to bear in mind that it is a school lunch program. It is not a school gourmet program. And it's good, healthy, quality food. We're going to get the wrinkles out, but at the end of the day, it's doing its job, and that is bringing food, you know, at an affordable price to our community on a daily basis. So, you know, hopefully we will get to the iron things out, and people will be satisfied. So thank you very much.
I left out of my report something, because we got to the we have to do the free and reduced lunch program if we get to what, 5%? Okay, so we spoke about this at finance. We are now up to 10%. And what we were wondering was, how did we jump so quickly? Well, one of the reasons is because there was, trying to take me seriously, look like an apple. One of the reasons is because the rules change that include recipients of Medicaid,
Yes.
right, as eligible for free and reduced lunch. So with that rule change, it jumped big time. So
It added 26
even
children.
if we didn't do this year, we would have had to do it next year. But now we're looking at, once you get 10%, we have to do, which we are at, we have to do a free breakfast program. So,
And summer EBT.
I think are we at 10 or are we at about 9.3%? Like we're close to 10, I thought.
What's our enrollment right now? Is it like 860?
865, so yeah, if we have 90, we're
86
over it.
children,
yeah.
and I think we're over that.
Oh, we are at 10%. Okay. So we're looking at breakfast. Yeah.
when you said EBT, what do you,
That's the summer card that the families get, where they get like $40 on a credit card to buy food for their children during the summer.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
One thing to speak to also, Robin, you were saying, this is not your grandfather's public school lunch, that in fact, that there are state guidelines. And these meet,
They're all good.
you were saying that they must get a one starch at least once a week or once every 2 weeks?
Once a week, yeah.
Once a week. There are salt limitations. These are really healthy foods. It's not some of those nightmares that you've heard about.
There's even a weight thing. I was asking him, on the weight of it. I was asking him on the grilled cheese sandwich. He goes, oh, it has to have the 2 slices of cheese. It can't have 3. It can't have 1 because of the protein requirement.
Yeah.
Like crazy. But yeah, that's the Mister's thing. But there are a whole bunch of tick-off boxes that you have to do. They can't have, like, green beans and peas can't be served in the same week. I don't get it, but but
Wow.
that's a thing. Yeah.
Any other questions? All right, thank you. Thank you, Robin, and your staff. Thank you, George, for leading the charge on that too. It's exciting to see. And it's the right thing, and it's progress, and I love seeing that for Long Hill because I feel like we were in a little stalled pattern for a little bit.
Yeah.
And I feel like moving forward is good for kids and good for parents as well. Do we have any comments from the public? Okay. On agenda items at least? Okay. We have a proclamation that we wanted to adopt. It's for September 2024 being Attendance Awareness Month. This aligns with one of the goals for this year around decreasing absenteeism. So I thought we could go through and read it out loud. Everybody has a little clause, so we'll start with Karen with the first whereas.
Whereas the nation is experiencing a school absenteeism crisis, making good attendance more essential than ever to student well-being, achievement, and graduation.
Danielle?
Whereas students and families are more likely to show up and engage when there are positive conditions for learning at school, including physical and emotional health and safety, a sense of belonging, connection and support, academic challenges and engagement, and adults and peers with social emotional competency.
Crystal?
Whereas reducing chronic absence, missing 10% or more of school for any reason, requires a comprehensive trauma-informed approach that starts with prevention and early intervention, including developing routines and trusting relationships that create a sense of belonging, rather than responding with punitive action, which research finds is not particularly effective.
Whereas improving attendance and engagement takes schools, families, elected leaders, and other community partners working together to rebuild regular and trusting communications and to identify and address barriers to being in school.
Whereas taking attendance daily in a caring, consistent manner is essential to identifying when students begin to miss too much school, and for noticing, as soon as possible, when students are starting to miss too much school and engaging students and families with needed support and resources.
Justin?
Now, therefore, be it resolved that Long Hill Township Board of Education stands with the nation in recognizing September as Attendance Awareness Month. We hereby commit to focusing on reducing absenteeism and addressing the factors that cause students to miss school in order to ensure all children an equal opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive academically, emotionally, and socially. We recognize that we must work together to build an engaging school environment that motivates attendance and sends the message that learning can and must continue.
Melissa?
Specifically, we will, 1, improve student attendance by engaging students and families and promoting a sense of belonging in our school community, resulting in at least a 97% attendance rate district-wide.
Katie?
2, engage students, families, staff, and the broader community in working together to identify and remove barriers to regular school attendance and develop meaningful strategies to ensure all students continue learning.
I'll do 3. Affirm and promote the importance of consistent, regular attendance and active student engagement through unified communication with families and in furtherance of our commitment to student achievement. Thank you.
And thank you all for your support with this. It's important, and it's going to pay dividends for us.
Thank you. Okay, resolutions. We are going to start with the minutes. Number 1, Karen, will you move those in?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Ms. Case?
Yes. Danielle, will you move in financials numbers 2 through 19?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, roll call.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Crystal, will you move in special services numbers 20 through 28?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Excuse me, yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. And will you move in personnel numbers 29 through 46?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Tom, will you move in curriculum number 47?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Justin, will you move in policy numbers 48 through 50?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions?
Um,
Go ahead, Daniel.
well, no, actually, I'll wait till, maybe I'll just say it now.
Okay,
Because I wanted to say something,
okay.
specifically with, policy 6140. I just wanted to say something as it pertains to this policy in curriculum. Since there are some sensitive topics here specifically mentioned in letter L, I just want to say that the specific wording that is written here is directly adopted from the New Jersey state law. And our policy committee does a fantastic job at ensuring that we are completely up to date and we're following all the laws. But our policy here is not able to add or edit the wording, as this would be changing the policy, is my understanding. And altogether, it would just change it entirely to a new policy, which would be changing what the legislature has put forth. So this is a mandated policy, and I wanted to just highlight this again for the sake of transparency for the parents and townspeople who may have concerns with this. Why are we adopting this policy and the way it is written? And if people do take issue with that, or any other mandated policies, they really should not be directed at this board rather than to the legislature or the governor's office.
Okay.
Well
Any,
said.
any other questions?
Let's see that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Ms. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes. Okay, Melissa, will you move in other numbers 51 through 55?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Butler?
Yes.
Mrs. Daly?
Yes.
Mr. Foster?
Yes.
Mr. Grosskopf?
Yes.
Dr. Marr?
Yes.
Mrs. McLennan?
Yes.
Ms. Nyquist?
Yes.
Ms. Rubelo?
Yes.
Mrs. Case?
Yes, okay. That is it. Sorry, Katie, you got left out of that one, but we'll get you next time. Okay, any items for discussion? Unfinished business?
I don't know if it's not an item for discussion, but one thing that came up in governance is that every committee should be well, we'll try to help you, but start to really think about their CUSAC involvement, you know? And number two, we had talked about it a while ago, just sometime, put it on your agenda, to look over those responsibilities that are on the website, to make sure that they align with what your committee does. I mean, it hasn't been, I guess it's been about 2 or 3 years they've been up, so we should really look at it, that's all.
Okay. Any other unfinished business? Any new business? Okay, any comments?
I sent an email to everyone, just a reminder, there is an event for Scott Lavender honoring his dedication to the Boy Scouts in our community. The board has all been invited. I forwarded that information out. If anyone plans on attending, please let me know. And I appreciate that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay, any comments from the public? No? Thank you for coming. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
Any abstentions? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I can't wait.